Hello?
Hey girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on.
Told you guys I fall in love fast.
The look on your face, and you're like, ooh,
Very healthy to have female friendships.
and
Yeah, I do want
completely
to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that.
effing
So finding that
island.
balance
Still
of I
desire
can
to
have
get
this
married.
with
Or just like get
really
rid of
having
toxic
Wasn't
sex
people
with
ever
a
who are
really
person
in
and
toxic.
being in
pain
love.
and part of it.
Welcome back.
It's a three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
How you doing?
Very good. Good.
Good. So I don't know what made me think of this topic today, but I feel like it's super relatable. I mean, we all can relate. I thought it would be fun to talk about love languages. Our love languages, the way we give love, the way we want to receive love. Oh, you know what? I think I now I remember. I was listening to a podcast and she was talking about her love language is receiving gifts. And she just went into detail about gift receiving, and it just made me really think. So my love languages have never changed. They've always been the same. And I will say the last love language of mine is gift receiving. I've
Yeah.
always been the last thing that I've like cared about. Always. But the way that she explained this made me want to like bump it all the way to the first. Because I'm like, it's just so true. Like, because there has to be thought into a gift, right? She's
hmm
like, if I'm dating a guy and he gets me, like, because she's like, I wear all neutrals. Like, I'm very minimalist. I wear, nudes, beiges, blacks, whites. And if he buys me like a hot pink sweater, he's like, I'm gonna be like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not gonna wear this. Sorry. Like, do you even know me? You know what
hmm
I mean? And then she's like, oh, you know, if he buys me a pair of shoes and they're a size 7 and I'm a size 6, like, hello, you know what I mean? Or if I love gold jewelry and you're buying me silver jewelry, like, you know what I mean? And it just made me think it's so true because you just have to really like put thought into a gift.
Yes.
One random thought I've always told myself is whenever I have a baby, oh gosh, I've been to so many baby showers, right? I've literally been to like 50 baby showers. One day when I have a baby, and I always tell myself, I'm like, do not want anyone to buy me baby clothes because I'm so specific in the type of clothes that I want my baby to have. Like, I just would be at all these baby showers and I'd be like, ooh. So like every piece of clothing, like I'm just like, I would never put my baby in this. You know what I mean? I'm like, I am so picky. So I always tell myself, if I do have a baby shower, I will specifically put, please do not bring me any baby clothes. Or like give me a gift card so I can buy my own clothes or whatever because do not, I just am so picky. And then I started to think about myself. I'm like, I'm picky about gifts that people give me too. Like, if you don't know me, I take offense like to the gift that you're giving me. Like as even more so if you do know me and you're giving me a gift that has nothing to do with me or like anything that I would like or wear or enjoy, like it pisses
hmm
me off. Because I'm like,
hmm
what friend are you? Like are you not paying attention? You know,
hmm
just like crazy with the gifts. So I think maybe I don't know if that's just always been my last one because it's just like the most stressful thing. I don't know. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, but my one of my love languages to give love to people is giving gifts. I love giving gifts. So I'm like, that's just so random that it's like I'm so picky, but I love giving gifts, but I like to think that I put thought into people behind their gifts. Like and I genuinely enjoy picking gifts out for people, just like
Yeah.
I enjoy shopping because I know like this is my style, this is what I like. Same as gift giving. I could see, Brit using this. I could see Star wearing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just love that. That's one of my favorite things to do.
And you are a really good gift giver too,
Oh,
because you
thank
put so
you.
much thought into it.
Thank you.
You
I
really do.
try. Yeah. So that's just how this all sparked.
Aw.
So, yeah, so I wanted to know your guys' love language and then do they differ from the way that you give love to other people?
I'm curious really quick about have your recent your ex, any of your exes pretty much, have they given you gifts in that way, in a way that you do enjoy getting them?
Um, I will say, well, I didn't get any gifts from my last ex, but whatever. And then my ex-husband, I would say the jewelry, because he was a big jewelry giver. And I was never someone that like I love to receive jewelry. Like I'm just not like that was just never me. So he kind of like made me appreciate jewelry more, I guess. And he actually would buy me jewelry that I didn't know that I liked until he would buy it for me. And then I would be like, oh, I like actually really like this. Like my diamond cross necklace I wear every single day, he gave it to me, but it's like it's my favorite necklace and I'll, you know, like that was so thoughtful. And even like my engagement ring, I never, him and I, so with my fiance before him, my first fiance, he was like, pick out whatever you want. So I picked out my dream engagement ring. So
Hmm.
I was when, we broke up, I was a little hesitant in getting engaged to someone else because I was like, I already picked out my dream engagement ring. Like, am I gonna compare it to this one? Am I gonna love it as much? You know what I mean? And so I was a little hesitant on that. And then when he picked out my engagement ring, my ex-husband, that was completely different from the one that I made my own with my last ex. I really loved it. I loved it. So I don't know. I mean, I think when it came to like the jewelry, yes. I feel like he was probably a thoughtful gift. I'll give him that. I think he was probably a thoughtful gift giver. Um, but that was, I mean, I think that, yeah, there was guys in the past that would give me good gifts. But I mean, flashback to one of the episodes, I told you one of the guys I dated got me a book on China for my birthday.
Oh,
So I haven't
yeah.
had like horrendous gifts that have been given to me.
Book on China. What is
Healthy.
that?
Yeah, just so random. So yeah, so I
Okay.
think yeah, I think I've been lucky in the gifts from guys. But I have had friends that give me gifts that I'm just like, I rather you just not got me anything. Like not even to be a bitch, but it's like it just genuinely shows that you did not put any thought in this. I would rather have you just not gotten me anything. Then I wouldn't have taken anything offensively. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Where's
Yeah.
that gift receipt?
Yeah, totally. So,
Okay. Okay. I have like a theory, that's why, but we'll talk about it later. What's
okay.
your love language? What is your actual like what's your main love language?
So my first love language, I take two and I combine them. Physical touch and quality time is my love language because I feel like when we're spending quality time, I want to be touching you. And if we're touching, I feel like we're spending quality time together. So I tend to tie those in. So I'd say that's my number one, and number two would be words of affirmation. Like, I want to know that you love me. I want to know that you think I'm sexy. I want to know that, this and that, R-rated things. Like I love like words of affirmation. So those, yeah, would be my two, my top two.
What are all of the love languages? Because I don't know.
So the physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts giving.
Okay.
So while Star ponders on hers, what are your love languages?
Yeah. The first, so I'm similar to you and like I combine like I can't live without physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. So it's hands down those three have to
Okay.
exist. And I think that they just go hand in hand. So
Yeah, I agree. And I
and
think Sarah's gonna be different, and I want to guess hers when we're done.
it's gonna be different. I my theory on love languages, because after my husband and I separated, we read the Five Love Languages book. We were
Yes.
trying to figure out if we were gonna, continue to work it out. And I was like really thinking that, okay, he showed me love in the only ways that he knew, which were like acts of service and gift giving. So,
Mhm.
and gifts I count as like traveling. So like we traveled a lot. That was a gift to me. You know what I mean? Like that is a gift. And quality time was probably in there as well because we spent a lot of time together, but it was like that emotional part that was lacking. So while I was filling my cup enough, or it was filled enough with those love languages, it was never full because I wasn't receiving that, right? But then I wonder, and my theory is that if I was to only receive those love languages and none of the others, would I
Mhm.
then feel like those are kind of climbing? I
Mhm.
I personally think that it should be well-rounded in all the areas.
I agree. Yeah.
The three top ones, like for you and I, are the same.
Right.
Obviously, those are like the most pertinent to us, but I think that the other two being sprinkled in like would just make it perfect, you know?
100%. I agree. How do you show love, Britt?
Um, I think all of the ways.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I think that oddly enough, probably the least would be like words of affirmation. Um, and I was gonna say and maybe physical touch, but if I really like you, no. But yeah, like I will go out of my way. Like I want to show love in the same ways I want to receive love. So in all the ways, which is in all the ways. So yeah, I think I do all the ways. Try
Mm.
to anyway. I like to think I do.
Yeah, I like to think I do too, because I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, do I show up in all of those areas? And I feel like I do. I feel like physical touch is probably very present because, I'm a very handsy person, even with friends and like girls that I work with, like I'm just a very touchy-feely person. And so I feel like I do that a lot, and I love gift giving, so I know I do that a lot. And I think, I don't know, acts of service. I feel like I do try to like offer acts of service and do things even without them asking. I think like you said, probably the last one that I didn't ever really do much of was words of affirmation. My last ex, him and I have the exact same love languages, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. And so that's one of the things that he kind of brought to light is that I don't really do words of, like, I expect words of affirmation from him, but I wasn't really giving it to him, and that's what he needed as well. And so I became more aware of that. And now I feel like I'm pretty, good in that area as well. I feel like I tend to. And I'm glad you brought up that book because with my ex-husband, his mom gifted us that book as a wedding gift. And I feel like, I mean, to me, look, I thought it was an amazing gift, but to me, looking back, I think wedding gifts a little late. I think that you guys should, when you're like dating and getting, serious, I feel like that should be one of the things that you guys already know about each other. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so now, like, you know, when I date people, I do want to know early on, what are your love languages? That way I know, like, you
Yeah.
know, show up more of and know that they care what mine are as well.
Mhm. Yeah, and I actually now thinking about like gifts is probably also the second one because I feel like what do I even like get you? I find
Mm-hmm.
it so hard to shop for the people I've dated because they typically are people who just get whatever they want for themselves anyway. So then I'm always like, well, how can I even like get you something, that you're gonna use or that you like or whatever. No matter how
Right.
much thought I put into it, it's like, well, by the time I get this anyway, you probably already bought it. You know, like, so I think, and so it's not for a lack of trying. I think it just isn't something that I've ever had to do frequently enough to call it top of the list of
Yeah.
showing.
And well, and I think the thing with gift giving too is some people might think like, oh, as it like I'm literally going to get, you just for example, I'm using like this purse that you love, or like, Star, I'm gonna get you this, necklace, whatever. But if you think about it, it really could be like, oh, I'm gonna let me go out and get his morning coffee for him. You know what I mean? Or let me go get, I noticed that his socks are like getting used up. Let me go get him another pack of socks. Like, you know what I mean? Like little things like
Hmm.
that, I feel like are considered gifts.
Hmm. Yeah, it's the little things in
Like,
between, not
yeah,
just like celebrations and birthdays.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Hmm.
like we want flowers for no reason sometimes. We
Yeah.
want little sweet things sometimes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss
Hmm.
Queen. Hear it. I feel like I already know.
Wait, let's guess though. Acts of service,
Uh-huh, that's what I would say. And
gift giving.
yep, the two that I would pick for her.
Yeah.
Those are mine for other people, right?
No, that's what
We're
we
talking
think
about
yours is.
those are what you
Oh,
want.
mine are. Oh, okay. I think acts of service and quality time when you were listing them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have
More
been
than
my
gifts?
I do love a good gift though, not gonna lie. But I love gift exchanging. Like I love Christmas, I love birthdays, and we know we celebrate my birthday all month. But I also love to get people things, and so I always feel bad when I like, oh shoot, I'm going to a birthday party and I totally forgot. But I know that I want to spend time on getting them something. Like with our friend Mercedes, I was like, God damn it, my week is so busy. And so gift cards are like last on the list, but I'm like at the same time, cash is nice too. I'll take it.
That is nice.
But yeah, I'd say acts of service and quality time. But like you guys were saying, it's hard to pick the one because they're all so needed, I think, to have. It's my main big mine is the gift giving. Unless you phrase it the way Fallon was saying, like the little things that you don't really expect. And I think that's where it's like, oh, you knew I was having a rough day at work today. Like maybe I can come. Are you sick? What can I come bring for you?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Things like
Exactly.
that. And I know Paul and I have had this conversation because I don't know, I'm sure love languages has been around for a long time, but for me, I really only started hearing about it like a year or two ago. And so yeah, I've had that conversation with Paul, but I also just like know him so well. I'm like, I know what you need to kind of thrive. But to Fallon's point, having that conversation, like if we were to have it 10 years ago when we were dating, I wonder what that would have looked like. Because do you guys think languages can change too
Mhm.
along the
I
way? Yeah.
think so, for sure.
Yeah, I think they can. Again, I think that it has a lot to do with that like deprivation aspect. Like if you get so much of one and then you're deprived of another, it eventually will be like, well, wait a second, like I don't get it this way or that way. And I do think to some degree they're all connected. Like again, like yeah, asking if, oh, you're under the weather, what can I bring you? That is another way to have words of affirmation. You know, you're affirming that you care about this person. It's also acts of service. It's
Hmm.
also gift giving, you know? So it's like they all to some degree go hand in hand. Um, there's also another book, I believe, I don't know what it's called, that rebuttals the love languages
Oh.
because essentially the five love languages is saying you have to love someone else the way they need love, which is not something you as a person can control, right? So, Fallon needs quality time, but I didn't grow up with quality time. I don't know how to give quality time. I'm not used to quality time. But now I have to change that about me to give it to someone else, right? So it's like so the book is saying, well, now you have to do something out of your normal nature at whatever age you're at. So you didn't learn it. You have to figure it out if you want to be with this person for them to show love. So it could come off unnatural, it could come off fake, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how to do
Mm.
it. So it's an interesting, I only read like some snippets of it, but because I was like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep trying to love people the way they want to be loved, you know? But it is one of those things that like you can't really control what someone else needs.
Hmm.
You can only decide like, do you want to give it to them? Or, do you want to
Yeah.
find someone that receives it the way that you know how to give it?
Hmm.
Star, do you think that Paul gives you your love like with through your love languages that you want, the acts of service and the quality time? Do you feel like he gives you those like the most out of, or do you think that there's some that he maybe does more than those?
Gosh, I'd say until we really had a conversation about the love languages within the last couple of years, he was more of a definitely like quality of time and gift. He loves giving gifts. So, and you were talking about jewelry earlier. At one point, I did have to tell Huds, we're good on the jewelry. Love
And
it.
he loves to give you
Take
some jewels.
We're good. But I think he does a good job of kind of like reading me and figuring out what it is. Because I don't know, I feel like for me, sometimes it also, speaking of changes, I feel like it changes quite a bit.
Hmm.
And for him, he just loves to, yeah, he just loves to just kind of like give me whatever it is I need in that day or that moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, what are Paul's love languages?
His quality of time and I would say physical touch, which is so funny because I'm very anti, what is
Right.
it? PDA.
Oh, he's like a PDA type of person. I didn't know that he.
Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah. So I'm trying to be better about it because I know we hold hands a lot,
Mhm.
but my thing is like we don't need to be doing all that and the other stuff, and so I'm trying to be better about like expressing our love for each other no matter where we are.
Okay. I love that. So how do you think that you give him love through quality time, obviously, and then what else do you feel like you do the most?
For him, more as long as we're together, but we're utilizing that time, like, because I will sit down on the couch, watch TV, and or I'll open my computer. Like, I like to fill time. I like to make use of, okay, I don't like to waste any time. So, another thing I'm working on is like slowing down, living in the moment with him, and doing more of the things he wants to like make sure we're spending that quality time together. One of the things, and I think you guys have seen like the cards that you can scratch off and go on the date nights and things. So we're trying to do more things like that where it's like, oh, what are some things we haven't heard of without our phones and just turning off our phones and being together.
I love
Love that.
that.
We're working on it.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of love languages outside of the five too, but I think they all just fit under the five to somehow, Like, oh,
Yeah.
just bring me some tacos. Like, okay, like that's acts of service and gift giving. But people be like, oh, it's my love language. I like when people say like this is my love language and it's just something random.
Yeah.
Feel like the love languages that you have or that you want from someone else, do you feel like that stems from anything like childhood, like say physical touch and quality time, like Britt and I like that, but is that because we were lacking that growing up and so we like crave that?
It
Or do
probably is.
you think so?
I do think so. I think there's some sort of psychological component to it. But I don't necessarily think it has to do with like childhood. I think it can, but it can also, I think, stem from traumatic
Or yeah, yeah,
relationships.
just trauma.
Yeah, just trauma in general. I think that the more I get into learning about trauma and childhood and the inner child stuff, like some shit is deep rooted.
Mhm.
Like you might think that you're a-okay and there's something that's been in there since you were 2 months old. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy how deep it can get. Um, but yeah, I think there's definitely some psychological component to that from past experiences.
I agree. And like you said, about the like when you were saying I want quality time and physical touch and say, maybe you're my partner and you don't know how to give that quality time. Another thing I was thinking is, yeah, do you think that some people like say for example, they don't know how to give quality time, so maybe they just like love to give you gifts because they don't know how to show up in that area, but this is the area that they know how to show up in. So this is them saying like I'm showing up for you. I love you. I want to do these things, but you're not registering it because you're like, well, that's last, in my mind, I want quality time. I don't care about a gift. You know what I mean? So do you think people show up in those areas sometimes because they can't show up in the others?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. And that's why I think that there's that rebuttal, right? Because again, we can't register love that way unless we actively somehow rewire that. But that's something so deep rooted that it's like it just is. And then on the other end, that could be so deep rooted that they don't know how, and that would take years to learn too. Like with my ex-husband, his again, his love language to me, like showing me was acts of service, the quality time, or the gift giving. And I desperately needed like words of affirmation. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until it was like, wow, like I never want to go back to not having that. And then that conversation occurred over and over. Whereas like he's just like, I literally don't know how. He's read books, he's talked to about with therapists. That emotional component there just like is lacking for him and he just does not know how to. And again, that there's a want, right? There needs to be a very eager want to change that, of course, too. So there's people I think that can do it and that do it every day for the person that they love, but yeah, it is harder than it sounds.
Yeah, I agree. I think like when I said earlier, my last ex needed words of affirmation, and that was probably like the last thing I was doing. And he brought it to my attention. And for me, I wouldn't say it was difficult. It just was something I needed to be aware of. And then I'm like, okay, is that's
Hmm.
then
Yeah,
you
you have
got
to
it. No
like
problem. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
yeah, you have to want to be willing to do that. I think when you want to do something or you have a will to do something, those things definitely get easier to do.
Hmm. And like Fallon, to your point, girl, with knowing and being aware of like what it is that kind of makes you feel loved and supported and heard. That's a big, big stepping stone. So now in the dating world, is that going to be, you said kind of like one of the first or second conversations you think, or top five?
Top five for me if I could actually see myself like dating this person. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if I don't see any kind of near dates in the future, I'm not even gonna go there. You know what I mean? But I do like if I'm starting to like somebody and I'm starting to feel like I want to spend more time with them, I do want to know early on,
Mhm.
you know, because like I said, I am like I don't have to know you like super well or be dating you or like be close to you as a friend for me to like give you a gift. I just don't know what it is. Like I just love to give gifts to people. So I could see myself doing that early on for somebody, but I want to make sure that they're going to receive that the way I'm like intending for them to receive it. So I want to know early on for sure your love languages. And I want you to care enough to know mine,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
about you, Britt.
Yeah, early on would be great. And I didn't think that it mattered until Wolverine. That's what, because he did ask me pretty early on. Like after,
Really?
yeah, I'd say after our second, maybe even before our second date. And I was like, impressive. Like, okay, this is good. Um, and granted, I don't know how what's gonna happen with that, but I still think that's I think now a standard of like, okay, that's a good one conversation because yeah, I mean, again, there's no sense in wasting time. You should know what mine is and I should know what yours is because if we're not compatible, we're not compatible.
Now him after him asking you, did he start to show up in those ways for you? Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, I think he naturally already was, but yeah, he's very like self-aware and on top of those things.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
actually, so yeah, it was before our second date, now that I think about it.
But like you said, he was already giving you what you needed anyways.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
That's nice. Were you doing the same for him, or was that something you had to like adjust?
Oh yeah, I had to adjust. Simply because like it was so early on that I was kind of like I didn't expect him to like do anything yet. But so like one of the things being like the physical touch and then like the second date, this is why I remember was the second date was because he like touched my arm very softly and I was kind of like I was like what's happening, you know? Um and then like later on he asked me about it and he was like how was like the physical touch? And I was like, "Oh, like you did that on purpose."
Oh,
Okay, got it. And obviously I was like a little bit apprehensive about it at first, but then I was like, that's really actually sweet to think about like that he's thinking about it and being like proactive about it.
I love that for you. That is awesome.
Mhm.
See, ladies, those men are out there that care. Well, that was interesting. I love that we got to go over our love languages. And I think it's good
Yes.
for you to know with your friends too. Like you want to know how you can show up for your friends, not just romantic relationships. And here Britt and I thought that Star was going to say gift giving, and we both were thinking that. She's like, "Oh, learned something new today."
We'll put that as my third one.
She's like, it is up there.
Right in the middle.
Love it. I love it. Well, I want to know what our listeners' love languages are, or if they even believe in love languages.
Yeah. To your point, that other book sounds interesting too.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up and let you guys know what it's called.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
let's post.
Don't forget to rate us, please. Give us some stars. Let us know your thoughts. We greatly appreciate you for listening.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Next time.
Bye.